The Mediterranean resort of Alanya in Turkey was the venue for the penultimate ITU World Cup race of the year. The elite men lined up in the hot temperatures for the non-wetsuit swim over the Olympic distance. Everybody was keen to get underway on the beach start, which always makes for a dramatic entrance into the warm waters of the Med of Turkey's south coast. Among the top-ranked athletes in the field were Russian brothers Igor and Dmitry Polyansky, who swam side by side at the head of the packed 78-man field. Frenchman Raoul Shaw, though, soon hit the front as the field started to get strung out as the 1500 metres progressed. With such a large field, keeping out of trouble around the swim boys was the prime objective, but Shaw managed to keep himself in clear water as he headed for home and was first out of the sea from the run up the beach into T1 with the Russian brothers right behind him. The 29-degree heat was sure to prove a factor over the 6-lap 40-kilometre bike, and those at the front tried to get away from the rest of the pack quickly and without incurring any penalties. The rest of the field were soon coming thick and fast out of the water, with Portugal's João Pereira among them some 20 seconds back. Shaw was at the head of an 18-man lead group in the early stages of the race. But with Pereira involved, the large chase group, some 30 seconds down, had work to do if they were to stand a chance of making the podium. Norway's Kristian Blummenfelt did a lot of the work to reduce the gap, and the chasers caught up halfway through the race to form one large lead group. But it was Pereira with 5 ITU WTS top 10s to his name this year who'd ridden himself into contention, and being one of the strongest runners in the field, he led the large group into T2 and was quick to rack his bike and get out onto the 4-lap 10-kilometre run in the Turkish heat. Despite being passed by several athletes in transition, he was soon up and running a steady pace in a large group. Brendon Sexton from Australia was the first to show on lap 1 as he looked to forge ahead. But strong runner Pereira was looking comfortable and was nicely placed. It was a question of when he would make his move. Canada's Kyle Jones, a second-place finisher in Cozumel, Mexico, recently was in touch with the leaders once again as he looks for a strong end to the World Cup season. As the field started to string out, Pereira had Nan Oliveras for company at the front, with Blummenfelt and Jones trailing a little further back. At the start of the bell lap, the two leaders had a small gap on those behind, but the 3 medals would come from those 4. This would be a close race, and a sprint finish was a distinct possibility. Jones and Blummenfelt were having their own battle for the medal placings, but were struggling to make any inroads into Pereira's lead. Pereira made his move with 600 metres to go, mindful that Oliveira had been served with a 15-second penalty for a mount line violation on the bike. There would be no catching the Portuguese as he surged ahead. The battle for second and third was now becoming clearer, with Blummenfelt having found a burst of energy to leave Jones in his wake. Oliveira served his penalty, but didn't have enough time to try and force his way onto the podium. Pereira's perfectly timed execution of the race saw him take gold for his first ITU World Cup win. Blummenfelt came in second, with Jones securing his second successive podium finish in third. All 3 battled through the field to overturn a big deficit out of the swim to make their day's work even more satisfying. Oliveras made a brave effort to catch Jones but just came up short in the end. Nevertheless, it was a good effort from the Spaniard. João Pereira, though, was able to celebrate his first World Cup win.
I ran a little more easy that WTS in other times, but I prefer because I know have one lap very strong. It is important, and the finish very good and not pain a lot.
When you start running on the first K and half, it's always like a little bit weird. You don't know how to feel, so I just tried to hang on close enough to the lead so I could stay in touch for the second half, and luckily I had a little bit left in the leg.
I'm very pleased with the podium today. I really wanted to finish off the season on a high note, and I was able to do that. Didn't quite have the same pop in my legs as Cozumel, but hung tough and happy to be on the podium.